It's the most wonderful time of year for great gift deals, but sometimes the prices are actually too good to be true, and you can become the victim of a holiday scam and fraud.
So joining us live now to talk about how to be cyber safe while shopping this holiday season is expert Claudiu Popa. Claudiu, thank you so much for joining us. So what are the statistics saying about cyber fraud this year?
Thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, the news are fairly grim regarding the statistics. I think what we're going to see in the big picture is the fact that the 2023 is going to be a watershed year for a lot of cyber fraud. What we're seeing is that back in 2021, $283 million in losses were reported to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. Last year, it was a massive explosion. $420 million were lost. And this year, we're on track for over $450 million being lost by Canadians. And here's the catch. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, this is at most 5% of the real figure.
Wow.
So that real figure might actually be closer to $9 billion for 2023, lost by Canadians who, as we just saw, have less money, less disposable cash, and are facing inflation.
Exactly, Claudiu. And that's the thing, right? You talk about that huge number. The other thing is you're calling them losses. You don't always get the money back, right? That's the other thing. It's not like necessarily, even if you can prove that it's a scam, that you're definitely going to be reimbursed. So what are some of the scams people should be paying attention to that are sort of, I suppose, popular with these cyber thieves, Claudiu, right now?
This is it. There's no doubt about it. The retail sector has outpaced every other sector. It used to be that the financial sector was tops. It was attacked more often and in higher volumes. But today and for the next 60 days, we're going to see that retail sector being used and abused. So what people need to watch out for is fake cloned websites. So these are realistic versions of the sites that they trust. They type things into Google, they look for deals, they come up with a website that looks identical, and I mean identical because some of them have been created by AI. They can go through the entire transactional process without even knowing that they just purchased a non-existent product from a non-existent organization with the right branding. It never arrives. That's one of the most insidious things that we have seen. And people have very few hints that this is happening. Another trend is that of pushy charities. We see a lot of demands for donation at this time of year. And those fake charities can empty people's wallets in no time because they tug at our heartstrings. And they come across multiple channels. They don't just come by email or on the web. They reach us on our cell phones. They arrive as something called smishing, SMS phishing. We're all familiar with email phishing scams that try to get us to transfer money or click on infected links. But smishing, text messages that appear to be legit and, of course, urgent, are the next thing today. And I've been working overtime trying to get a lot of these sites taken down by domain registrars. It's really hard to tell, but make sure that you look at that URL and make sure that you recognize the website address, and not just part of the website address, but the entire thing. If there are any doubts, type it in directly into your browser after making sure you've got the right address.
Okay, always better to verify. Claudiu, so much fascinating and helpful information. Wish we had more time, but thanks so much for joining us about this. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.